Hi, welcome to an Autocad 2020 video tutorial. I want to do that racing car seat exercise in Autocad, and it went quite well. So let's have fun with Autocad. So let's start with a sketch, and I would go for a polyline, but it's not necessary. I could do it with a normal line as well. So let's go for just a line, and that will start at 0, 0. Then in that direction it should be 420. Then I want 82 length and an angle of 30 degrees, like that, and this should be perpendicular to that one, so that angle would be 30 plus 90, 120, and the length would be 7.5, so go for 7.5, and the angle should be 120, like that. Okay. Now in order to draw this, I want to use Parametric because it's easier to do, so I will just fix that point and this point as well and hide those. Let's go for another line which starts right here, goes up, and I don't know the length, that's my problem. I would know the angle, and that would be 60 degrees. So let's go for, let's say 400, and the angle should be, so that would be 90 plus 30, 120. Again, like this. And let's give it a parametric dimension like that. That would be okay. And the linear distance from that endpoint to this line in that direction would be 480. So obviously this was not coincident there, so I will use coincidence from this point to that end point, like this. Let's try that line. Yes. Now I need another line which should go from this end in that direction, and the length would be 480, or 775 minus 480, and that would be 295. So that would be in this direction 295. Enter. And I could add that dimension, go for the line, for the end point, and for that point here, like this, so that you got that 775. And I want to fix this in place just in case. Oh, that's over constrained, but this should be valid. Yes, hide all, hide all. I need another line which starts right here, goes over there 30, and goes down like this. I could trim or I could wait, doesn't matter. I need a circle, and I might use auto constraint just in case to make sure it's all constrained. Hide those constraint, and I would need an aligned length here like this, and now I need a circle, so go for a circle, and the radius might be 320. Now the distance from that endpoint here, this one, to the center of that one should be 290, and I would need a dimension here so it's fixed. Come on, like that, and this point should be coincident right there, so let's just add maybe another fix here just in case. No, that's not necessary, so go for coincident, and this one should be on that line here, so I don't want to use, so go for and see if it works for the nearest. So that doesn't work. Therefore, I have to move it down. Let's draw a line from here up there, like this, and then go for move. I want to move that circle, right click, from this endpoint here to that one here, and then I can delete that one like this. Okay, so I could trim now, so go for trim. I want to trim with this, with that, and with this line here, right click, and I want to remove this part. Great. Now I need another circle, and the center would be at minus 255, column 190, and the radius should be 270, like this. Now I can trim once more, so I want to trim here, here, there. Okay, right click, and I want to remove this one and that one and this one. It's not possible, so go for delete or erase. I want to erase this one, right click, and of course this should be removed as well, and enter. Now I need a fillet or round, so go for round, right click, radius should be 100, and it should be here like this. And then you need another round. I will see if it's possible with radius 70. This might not work. I could try, but it works. That's great. Now this should be a polyline, so I go for P edit, select one, maybe this one, go for yes, and then go for join, and I want to join these elements, those elements, and these, and those. Right click, enter, and see if that's a polyline. Yes, it is. Great. Now there are no planes in AutoCAD, so I don't have to go for planes. I will need lines which go straight up from those points in that direction, in set direction. So these will be next. So let's go for another line. That line should start right here at this endpoint. And it should go straight up, and the length would be 100. I need another line which starts right there. Again goes straight up, and that length would be 180. Go for another line just there. We should start at 0, 0. Go straight up, and that would be 122. Repeat that command, and I need another line just there at this point, straight up, and this would be 200. Is this really 200? This seems to be 180. Yeah, it's okay. Where is this line? Oh, this was not as expected, so go for another line here at that endpoint. Go straight up and make it 122. Enter. That's more like it. Okay, now I need to draw my arcs. Therefore, I maybe should select that axis system and rotate it around the x-axis by 90 degrees, like this. Now I should be able to draw this arc here, and I want to go for a 3-point arc if possible with start, end, and radius. Yeah, so arc with radius would be okay. So let's see what is available. We have start and angle, start and radius. I want to go for this one. Start point would be this point, end point would be that point, and the radius, so I have to zoom out a little bit and see, so it should be the other way around. So go for control, which would turn this to the other side, and the radius should be for this one 840. Enter. So that's the wrong one. Happens. So let's try the other way around. So go from this point to that point over here, like this, and then I should be able, yeah, that's more like it. So go for 840 radius. Now I have to rotate my axis system, or just move it. So go here, select it there, and move it to this endpoint, like that. And then rotate this one. Let's take a look if this works. It should go here. Yeah. Now for the next arc, from this point to that endpoint, and again I should be able, yes, and that would be, the second one is 750. Okay, let's move our axis system once more. So from this point here to that endpoint over there, and then align this one with, sorry, select it, go there, and align it like this. Go for another arc from this endpoint to that endpoint, zoom out, and that radius should be 800. Great. So now I could go for a loft or a sweep. I will go for a loft, and maybe, just maybe, hide those grid lines and reset this one to the world coordinate system. Great. Okay, let's go for the loft. I want it to be a surface, a loft, and this might be the first cross section. That one the second. Right click, enter, go for guides or path. Let's try guides and select this arc as guide and take a look. Looks okay. So enter, and now I want to extend that surface. So go for extend, select the edge here, right click and extend it maybe 150. Now make a union between this surface and that surface. Enter. Now it's 1. Put this one onto a different layer, maybe on this one. Now I want to make an extrude with that profile. It should be a solid, so maybe it should be on that layer. Go for an extrude, select that polyline, right click and make it maybe 300. Now I can split that solid, so go for slice. I want to slice this solid, right click with that surface, and I want to keep this side. Looks good. And now I want to hide that surface on my layer 0, which is hidden, just in case. Looks quite good. Now I need to move my axis system once again. Go here, take this one here and put it over there on this vertex if possible. Here should be able to snap on it, yes, and then align. Let's take a look. The Z axis, this one with that point over here, and the Y axis should be aligned, of course, with this point here. Not quite, because this might be not the correct angle, so I will align it over here, move it to this endpoint, because that's the sketch here, and then move this one to that endpoint. That's more like it. Okay, now I need to do some sort of sketch here, and I could use a spline, or I could go for arcs. Maybe let's start with a polyline. Go for polyline and look from top, and this should look something like this. It should go straight up. Then I want to go for an arc, and maybe, just maybe, I should isolate this one for the moment. So go for hide objects and hide this object, so it's easier to see. So let's go for our polyline once more. Let's delete this one, go for our polyline, start here, go there, then go for an arc in this direction, maybe like that, another arc in the other direction, maybe like this, and then I might go with a line just, this should be tangent, so make it like this, then go for parametric and fix it, fix that point here, and now go for tangency, maybe fix this point as well. Now go for tangency between this arc and that line. Okay, let's make a surface extrude with this one. Hide all, go for surface, make an extrude, select that polyline, right click, enter, and make it 250. That should do. Let's move this one to a different layer, surface layer, yes, bring back our solid, and now I could of course slice this one. So go for solid, slice, I want to slice this body, right click with this surface, and I want to remove this side, so I have to keep that one. Again, put that surface onto layer 0, which is hidden. Confirm. Nice. Okay, so let's bring back our coordinate system to the world. And now I want to mirror that solid, so go for a mirror. I want to mirror this solid, right click, and you could use the points of the sketch, this one, maybe that one, and this one. Nope, and I've got it mirrored. Now I want to make a union, this one and that one, and okay, so it's one solid. Now I have to go for that bulge here, therefore I need to draw first a sketch. So how could I use those edges? I can extract edges, but I could color edges, I could copy edges. That would be ideal, to copy these edges and use them. So if I go for copy edges and select this edge here, can I get the complete one? Let's check, is there, so what about the union? Did that union work? Seems not, because there's still two bodies. I wanted to make a union between this one and that one. Right click, now it's one body. Okay, so in order to extract that edge, so go for a copy edge. I could copy, select edges, or I need only that edge here. So if I select it and right click, enter, do I have then this edge here somehow? I don't think so, not really. I could of course extract all edges, so if you go for extract edges and select that solid, right click, you would get all those edges. So if I hide that solid, right click, I should have all the edges right here. That's okay. So I want to go and just hide the sketches and use maybe that layer for my arcs right here. So I need one here, and therefore I would have to rotate that axis system around the x-axis. So go here, go there, and not the line but the axis system like this, rotate around the x-axis. Now I could draw an arc here. Let's see what kind of arc we have. Start, center, end, start, center, angle, start, center, length. Yeah, we'll go for start and radius. Select this point, that point here, and let's see, that would be okay, and that radius might be, let's go for 350. Okay, then I have to align my axis system again, and therefore I would maybe need the sketches, so I could align it like this. Now go for our axis system, select the origin, move it over here to that endpoint, and then align or the x-axis with that endpoint here, this one. So go for endpoint and select this one like that. So it's aligned, and I can draw another one here. So maybe hide the sketches and draw another arc, and I think I should go from this edge to that one, or maybe the other way around. So go for an endpoint here to an endpoint over there like this, and let's see in which direction. That's the wrong direction. You could switch it like this, but that's very hard to control, so I would do it the other way around. So go from endpoint, this endpoint, to another endpoint over here, and now I could go for maybe again 350. That's 700, 650. Let's go for 650. Okay, I will need a spline, and I want it to be, to do the loft, this has to be a surface. So I could go for a planar surface, maybe, or I could go for a patch. If I go for a patch, let's see what would happen. I would select edges, no curves. So I would select this curve and that curve. Right click, enter, no bulge, like this. Okay. Go over there, do the same, go for another patch, right click curves, select this one and that one, right click, enter, and enter. Now let's take a look at my axis system. I want to go back to the world coordinate system, and then I could draw a spline. Yes, so go for home, go for a spline, right click check the midpoint of this one, like that. Let's see, maybe it moves like this and then goes down here. Right click midpoint on this edge as well. Right click enter. So let's try to do a loft here. Let's go for surface and see if we can do a loft. So I could go for join multiple edges, or I could go for just an edge. Could I use this? Yes. That arc. And then this arc over here. And then I want to use the other ones as cross section, as guides or paths. So go for enter and go for guides. So one guide would be this edge right here. Another one would be that one. And the last one would be this one over there. So let's take a look. This looks okay. Yeah, it does. So right click and enter. Yeah. Now I want to make a union with those. So go for solid, go for a union. I want to make a union with this one, that one, and this one. Right click. Continue that operation. It's not associative anymore. And now I want to sculpt this one to the solid. Let's see if this works. So bring back our hidden object and maybe undo that, and maybe I could hide those elements, or I do the other way around. I will bring back this one and put that one onto a different layer. So maybe put it on the same layer as those surfaces, and then I could hide the blue one, this one. Okay. Now I want to sculpt. So go for surface and go for sculpt. Select surfaces or solids to sculpt into a solid. So I want to sculpt to this one, to that one. Is that a solid right now? So I will move this surface to my hidden layer 0. I see that there is indeed a 3D solid. Looks good. There are two, that's one, and there is another one. So this one should go to the layer 0 as well. And now I've got that nice solid here with that bulge. Great. Now I need to add fillets or rounds and then do a shell. So let's start and see which kind of radius we can use. So go for solid, go for a fillet edge. Don't go for a chain. Radius, maybe let's try 80. Select this edge here, which should go all along like this. Make sure you select it completely. So this should be selected as well. That's not possible. That's sad. So maybe try it in a different way. Let's go for fillet edge and go for a chain and see what happens. Radius might be, let's say 80. Select that edge here. Yeah. Enter. Enter. Okay, looks okay. Do the same thing on the other side. Go for another chain. Select here. enter, enter. Looks okay, but this looks kind of odd, this one. So what about this? Is this any... Let's put this on to layer 0. Yeah. Some remnants somehow, and this should go on to layer 0 as well. Okay. Now let's add a fillet here. So go for fillet edge. Select chain, go for another radius. Let's go for... I could try 80, I could go for 50. Let's try 80. See what will happen. Just nothing. Let's go once more for chain, right click for a radius 80 and select that edge here. Yeah, it somehow might work. It does. Okay. Now add another chain, repeat fillet edge, go for another chain, and let's go for a radius of 80 once more. Select this edge here and see if it works all around. It does, but I might get problems with the shell. I'm not quite sure. I will try. Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Now go for another fillet edge, right click another chain, or just maybe not a chain but radius maybe 80, and try to do it on this edge. That's very small, so deselect it if possible. Not possible, or it doesn't show, so go for a different radius. Let's go for 100. Selected edge, enter, enter. Okay, looks good. Now for fillet edge up here, go for a radius of, let's try 100 and see if it works on this edge and that edge. Doesn't work. Okay, so let's go for 50. This works great. Then add another one, go for a chain, go for a radius of 10. Select this edge here. Okay, that's okay. Now I want to add another fillet on this edge. Go for a radius of 50. Select that edge and confirm. Nice. Let's see if the shell will work. And the problem with the shell is the selection of the faces. That's a real problem. I want to go for a shell with 30 millimeter thickness. So go for shell and select the solid. This would be the solid, and now I have to remove faces, and that's a little bit difficult to see if you got the right face. So I want to remove that face here. Yes. Then I want to remove this face. Yes. That face, and this didn't work. So I've selected by accident those surfaces. And that's kind of annoying, the whole thing. So let's try once more. Go for a shell, select the solid. Now remove this one, remove that one, and let's move over here and try to select it here. It didn't work. So it's really crazy. So now I've got this one and that one and this one and that one. So that would be 30 millimeters, I suppose. But I've selected by accident that surface, and I want to remove this one from the selection. And think that will not work. So I've removed this one, that's crazy, so bring it back. I could try, and it looks okay. So sometimes it works, sometimes not. And this should be, of course, 30 millimeters, and I could try to remove that face as well. And right click enter and see if it works. And the shell offset distance should be 30. So is it minus 30 or plus 30? I will go for 30. Let's see if it works. It might work, it might not work, it takes a while. And we will see. Yeah, great. Worked. So now I want to do fillets on those edges. So go for a fillet edge, go for a chain, right click, go for radius, and go for 10 millimeters on this edge here, and see if it works all around. Almost. Let's add this one, and it could work. Enter, enter, great. Now for the same edge fillet chain on the inside, radius should be again maybe 10, and select this edge here. It goes almost all around, but it stops somewhere over here. So I have to select this edge on top, make sure it goes all around. Select that edge here. No, come on. Select it here. Seems to be working. Let's try. Okay, nice, very nice.